Interpenetration. In this case here, we're looking at all types of interpenetration. The focus is on locating termination points, which are the points where the edges of the branch solid meet up with the surface of the upright solid. Now, let's go. This is known as your termination point, this one from one. This is known as your termination point or end point. 2 and 4 is your termination point. Number 3 is your termination point. Mind you, this is the top view. So let's go up. So there's number 4, 1 and 3, and number 2. Where did these numbers come from? These numbers came from this top view. They were projected up to find this line here. Now we need to find the end of this in terms of where it ends when it touches the main solid. Thereafter, we have what we call turning points. A turning point is where the surface of the branch solid wraps around an edge of the upright solid. This is an upright solid. This is the top view of an upright solid. So the Z line in this case is our turning point. Yes, Y is also a turning point. So is X. So is W. But our main focus in this case is on the Z. Why the Z? Because that's where our branch solid is located. So now, how then do we find the termination points or the end points? It is very simple in this drawing. Now I'm going to start with number 1. We need to match 1 with 1. 1 on the front view and 1 on from the top view, which is our branch solid. So I'm going to go to this, then I'll say 1, we project a vertical line. All right. Of course, with your set square, you are going to extend this line. When this intersects with 1, that is where your end point is. That's number 1. That is done. Then we need to project number 2. Now, remember, number 2 and 4 are on the same position. So when I bring number 2 and 4 up, I shall be projecting the same 2 points. So this is what I will do. Project a construction line, and then we then project number 2 until it touches the vertical line, so as number 4. So basically now I'm left with number 3 because I've done 1, 2, and 4. So now I'm going to be doing the same thing. Number 3 is right on the turning point at W. So I'm going to project this up. It's somewhere here in this case. So all I need to do again is to project number 3 until it touches there. So now that I have all my end points or termination points projected, I know that's number 2 because that's number 2. Number 1 comes first, then number 3, and that's number 4. How then do I bring the turning point? We said the turning point is on Z only, right? Because it is wrapped around Z. So now all I need to do again is to take Z across. When Z touches line 1, 2 and line 1, 4, that is where I then draw a vertical line to this branch solid on the front view. When it hits this baseline, that's where I find the point. This is the point. So I'll do the same thing for Z on line 1, 4. I'll bring it up. Up is a construction. So that's where I find the point. Now remember, this is Z and this red line is your Z line. Now I need to bring the turning point Z to this red line from this baseline, and it must be parallel to 4 line 1 and 3 and 2. If this was at 30 degrees, therefore I will need to now draw a parallel line like that. Now the Z is found on this red line. So now, knowing that this is a Z line, and let us put it correctly on its right place on the red line, so that we are certain as to where it is. Yes, this is your Z line. All right. Now we need to find another point here on top. So you're going to be doing the same thing. We're going to be drawing a parallel line at 30 degrees. If this was 30, if it's 60, you do the same thing. Now these two lines are parallel. So now let's just know that where the point is exactly. That's where the point is. So basically now what? I will call this point here A and B. So let us name this A and B respectively so that we don't get confused later as to which point is which point. So we're going to call this point A and we're going to call this point B. So something is wrong with point A, but which I will fix now, because the position of A is not at the right position. Okay, so I'm going to fix that now. Now that the position of our turning points are fixed, is now labeled A and B. Now I want you to look at this here. From 1, if we want to go around this, from 1 we go to A, we go to 2, we go to number 3, we go to 4, we go to B, and we go back to 1. So that's how you join on the front view. 1, A, 2, 3, 4, B, 1. So I'll be doing the same thing here. I'm going to be joining it like that. So 1, we said 1 is the one closest to us, 1. From 1 we go to A. From A we go to number 2. From number 2 we go to 3. From 3, remember, we go to 4, which is right at the bottom. From 4 we go to B, and then we go back to 1. So that's how you join it using these endpoints. However, now we need to find what is it that we see, what is it that is dark. Now, in this case here, you will notice that for us to get the front view, this is the direction at which we're looking at this. Therefore, let me show you with an arrow. So this is the direction at which we're looking at this thing. So it then says I can see 4, 3, and 2, but I cannot see from 2, A, 1, B, 4. I will make sure that I draw 4, 3, 2 dark. So I'm going to be drawing 4, 3, 2 dark. So this is what I'm going to do. So this here is supposed to be dark, and that is supposed to be dark. Therefore, it makes this one dark and that one dark. Then the rest that I see here is now hidden detail. Alright, therefore I'm going to make this hidden detail, because we agreed that from 2A, 1B4 I cannot see, it's on the other side. That's what makes this hidden detail, that hidden detail, and that hidden detail, and that must be hidden detail. So now we need to look at this red line as what is it that we see. We missed one line here in terms of dark line. That must be dark also. Now these are construction lines. However, from here to there, that we can see. Now what we'll need to do then is to let us take away this line, the red line, so that we are able to darken this line here. So that line goes away, so that from that point to that point is now drawn dark. It will be the same case here at the bottom, because this is not being affected. So we're going to make sure that this is drawn dark. So I have to redraw the line so that I make it dark. Of course, you will have a construction line, and the only thing that you will do is to go and darken the line. There we go, dark, and there we go, dark. Now this red line here must now be hidden detail, because everything that you see there is supposed to be hidden detail, because there's nothing that we can see because it's on the other side. So we're gonna do this, and this is now your front view complete in terms of finding the curve or the line of interpenetration. This is your front view. We will then move on when how to do the development.